for joining this session today. The importance of the session is that, over what we are doing, what we're going to discuss today is more on cyber resilience. Now, the question would be that why did we pick this up and what is the need to do this? To Rather than getting into details, delving into details, I'll just highlight some figures that in a recent report in 2024, the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center revealed that digital financial frauds accounted for a staggering 1.25 lakh crore over last 3 years. And in the May 2024, it reported that an average of 7,000 cyber complaints were recorded daily, marking a 60.9% increase from 2022 to 2023. So, Suhas and Uttam, given the scale of these frauds, uh, I thought that if we do a cyber resiliency series of sessions and try to create awareness for mid-tiers and large customers as well as uh, the general mass awareness. Now, given the scale, can you explain your experience with small and large organizations without naming them? How are they building cyber resiliency? So maybe Uttam, we can start with you or Swaz, whosoever wants to take it first, please.
So I probably I can answer this. So thanks first of all, thank you very much for giving us opportunity to be part of this kind of session. This is a really innovative approach, I believe. So coming back to the question on, I believe you asked for cyber resiliency about our experience with smaller and larger uh, organizations. So what we have seen is there are two different approaches which this organization follow. Larger organization, they follow layered defense approach, which is we called as a defense in depth strategy, right? Which is in line with people, process, technology. They talk about a risk-centric approach, okay, having their own resources, uh, implementing layered security defense, having continuous assessments or what we call as a red teaming exercises, proper incident monitoring and response team. So they do follow all this layered security approach uh, in line with the risk framework. Okay, so they follow GRC part very diligently. If you look at on the other hand, for smaller organization on that matter, they follow the simplest security approach. So simplicity in cyber security because of due to budget limitation, right? So what they follow is they try to focus more on the managed security. Cyber security is same for both. So they go with managed cyber security because where they can get the quality of services and solutions as equivalent to enterprises at a very economical cost. So with that aspect, they look at they go with managed security services. This is what I believe. And they do follow both of these organizations. They do follow now zero trust architecture or zero trust framework for cyber security. This is what we have seen in both type of organization. I believe Suhas sir, he might have a different approach, different opinion, but this is what I have seen on the ground.
So you mean the smaller organizations also are taking steps to protect the digital assets?
Absolutely. So they do because every entire business is now it's IT dependent or what we call as it's IT enabled business, right? So every organization is digitalized. So that means digital assets are very key for every organization. So smaller organizations getting targeted by all these attackers, knowing the fact that they may have weaker security controls implemented at this, and that is why we have looked at. But the moment they gone through any cyber attack, or the larger the one which is targeted, then for them it will be very difficult to come out of that attack because the kind of damage uh, you know happens from these kind of attacks is much bigger. So with that aspect, they have to also focus on. That is why we have seen even smaller organization focusing on a better cyber security or cyber resilient architecture approach.
So I'd like to add a few things. See, basically, cyber resiliency, as the term mentioned, is measured in terms of you know mean time to investigate, mean time to detect, and then finally it's mean time to respond. So whether it's a smaller organization or bigger organization, being resilient is important for all types of organization. Now the question is, the digital footprint for a smaller organization is very less, and for a bigger organization, the number of digitized process is higher. So for them, being resilient is very critical because major part of the business for a large organization happens through this digitized process. So for a smaller organization, it's very easier to be resilient. All they have to do is invest in an approach in technology which really looks at that digital space, whether it is email gateway or whether it is an internet gateway in a proactive manner. Whereas for a bigger organization, they have to literally look at various kind of attack surfaces and then take a proactive approach. That's the basic difference. So it's more of a scale, for any organization to look at it and then invest in resources, in people or technology, and then be resilient.
So, Suhas, Uttam mentioned, the larger ones have a proper GRC framework, which is governance, risk, and compliance framework. What about, is cyber resiliency in their risk management framework? I mean, both the smaller and larger, when it comes to budget allocation. I mean, do they significantly invest? I mean, given the scale that I mentioned earlier, how is that happening if they were? I mean, where are we lacking? Uh, is it that enough spending is not happening, or there is always the attackers are ahead of the protection or the resiliency mechanisms that are put in place? Why is it happening?
See, it's very important to go back on a term which was introduced in 2011 by a cybersecurity expert, Wendy Nather. It's called security poverty line. So security poverty line essentially, you know, divides between haves and have-nots. So what is this haves and have-nots? So in a bigger organization, you will have people, okay? You will have the budget. You will have a dedicated team to look after all these aspects. They will follow certain standards in terms of benchmarking their practices, so on and so forth. Now, all these things are not available for organizations which are really small, and that is the dividing line, of security poverty line. So the smaller organizations, they also need to do all those kind of things, and they don't have people, they don't have the budget, neither the skills and access to all the leading thought processes in that area. So a smaller organization essentially has to outsource this to service providers who can help build them that capability to address their needs. And for a bigger organization, obviously these things are in place, the budget is in place. They have to literally look at how you can do this in a much more effective way, whereby the desired goals are achieved in terms of resiliency. So essentially that's the difference.
Okay. So, when you said that, we know it, the smaller ones do not have the budget, but are there affordable solutions for even for some of them, hiring a managed service provider may not be affordable, and if they have to do that on their own, are there affordable solutions for organizations with lower budgets? And if you can give some example that where you have helped such organizations, the larger ones as well as the smaller ones, that will be helpful.
Yeah, Uttam can elaborate on this.
Yeah, please.
Sir, for solutions which you're talking about, however, see the organizations, whether it is smaller or larger organization, the budget is already increased and they are spending a lot of budget on cyber security. Earlier, the stake of cyber security was lesser. Now, when it comes to allocating cybersecurity budget, we have seen that, see, there is always a better way available. The economical way available in cybersecurity need not necessary that less you spend, you will get you will get weaker security or ineffective controls. It's not like that. Spending on right technologies, on right kind of services, combinations, and prioritizing, as Suhas sir mentioned, right? So if you prioritize security spending on focusing on critical areas first, that way you will spend less and you will have better security controls, better security, better visibility, in fact, deeper visibility into security incidents. So definitely there is a economical way for smaller organizations if they spend on in a proper approach, that will definitely save cost. So what we called about is security by design concept, right? Even for enterprises, security by design. So if they adopt that kind of approach, then they don't have to invest much. Otherwise, with each and every security problem, we start ending up buying tools. That increases the complexity, which leads to lack of visibility, lack of control on security incidents. So if you spend, even if you have less buying power, it's okay, absolutely fine, provided you spend on the right areas, combination of managed security services and right tools, end user education. These kind of approaches can definitely help people to enhance the security posture with less budget also, lower budget.
And also with the this quantum computing, people say that it will become, I mean, the experts say that it will become easy for attackers on the other side, on the defense side. How is quantum computing and AI going to play the role in future? I mean, is it going to simplify the things from the defense perspective, or going to make it even more complicated? I mean, make it easier for attackers and make it difficult to defend.
See, when digitization started, it started with email, right? And with email, you had the era of virus. When internet came, then the era of malware and then ransomware started. So I'm sure it's not going to stop with quantum computing. Given that AI is coming in all the organizations, AI also lends itself to attackers leveraging attack on various algorithms and introducing new types of attacks. So it's not that the problem vanishes. It's just that a new era begins in terms of attackers employing those kind of technologies, whether it is AI, whether it is quantum computing, that is bound to happen. So you need a new approach in securing, say, AI-based tools to secure that particular area. Quantum computing, it's all right now on paper. In reality, it doesn't exist. It will take some time. And I'm sure hackers are one step ahead. They will devise some ways to attack computers or whatever the piece of equipment organizations are using. And there will be innovations happening in that space to counter those attacks. The difference being is the level of complexity will increase going forward. It's not going to be as easy like what it was in the antivirus and virus era. It's going to become more and more complex.
uh, the some of the encryption mechanisms will also have to I mean, have these some of the products already started working on better encryptions, embedding better encryptions to deal with the better capacity of quantum compute to handle the encryptions, and they can decrypt it faster. So some of the products, do you hear from them? What are they doing on the encryption side?
Sir, with this quantum computing, the kind of encryption they are getting introduced now, that is challenging the existing encryption mechanisms. So if you look at the moment you see that new era is start embedding into controls, the older controls will start diminishing or vanishing. So that will not be easy for adoption perspective, because you have seen that there are a lot of controls available now. They are using that old or legacy encryption algorithms. So definitely quantum computing is going to challenge the existing encryption algorithms. We have to see that how that is going to affect security. That is, but that is slow, as Swasar mentioned, right? That progress is very slow. Adoption of quantum computing, or it looks like development is also very slow. We have seen quantum computing since last we are hearing since last couple of years. There was a buzz. We seen that people, everyone was talking quantum computing, but gradually what we have seen is AI become more prominent today, and it becomes the part and parcel of the embedded part of cybersecurity. So AI, while AI is bringing challenges, AI is also helping uh, security controls or organizations to detect attacks faster or respond faster. Various all these complex attacks, AI is definitely helping to detect complex attacks, mainly targeted phishing attacks and all, because it's not easy for in a traditional tool, signature based tools, to understand the attacks, the kind of techniques which attackers are using. They're always trying to bypass the security controls. So that way AI is bit faster, and it's within shortest time it becomes the vital part, or the uh, you know inherent part of cybersecurity. That's what I can say, and we have seen this in practice,
I'll
practically.
just add. I'll just add to
Yeah.
what Uttam is saying. Recently, I'd been to one of the biggest cybersecurity conference on the planet, and one particular topic which came to highlight was uh, vulnerabilities in processors. So no matter what you are doing, whether you are doing encryption, whether you are doing AI, whether you're doing quantum computing, you will use processors. So there is a timing vulnerabilities which is inherently present in processors, right? So I would say that's an eternal vulnerability. So any attacker who is smart enough and launches an attack, it's called side channel attack. No matter what you're using in terms of the software, he will be successful. And that vulnerability is yet to be eliminated. We
So
have
you
to
are
be
saying
thank
the
we have to be
vulnerability at the chip level
chip
isn't.
level.
I have heard this AMD and Intel. I mean, particularly
Yes,
AMD keeps on saying a lot on their chip security by design. So are you saying that that's also vulnerable?
yes. So that is the inherent vulnerabilities in the processor level. So the day attacker becomes smarter and attacks the processor, on the timing vulnerability, all what we are saying in terms of quantum computing or new types of encryption or AI, that will not hold water because your foundation itself is weak. So unless the foundation is strengthened, no amount of new types of technology at various layers is going to be useful.
So is there a solution for that, or you are saying that there's no solution for this vulnerability?
At the
Is there a fix
moment,
for it?
there's no solution for that. There is no fix. The only thing is that it is brought to the notice of the processors, I mean the companies which manufacture these processors, and then they fix the vulnerabilities at the code level within the processor. But you cannot eliminate all the vulnerabilities. As things progress, new vulnerabilities come into the limelight. It is brought to their notice. They go and fixing that. So timing vulnerabilities cannot be eliminated. You can
Okay.
fix it at the code level. So that's the inherent nature of the problem.
So that brings to the other question is how do organizations generally at a see now boards or leadership teams are responsible for reporting on the risk side or how do they report the effectiveness of their cyber resiliency efforts? I mean, how do organizations do that for their boards or their leadership?
Yeah.
And we
So
say
what?
that we people keep on buying the products, people keep on buying managed services or different kind of security models which are there. I mean, security service models which are there. It could be a product, then somebody implementing it, or it could be some agency taking end-to-end responsibility for security. But end of the day, how do they? Is it that if they get hacked, then if they don't get hacked, they're successful, or there are interim reporting mechanisms also?
So what is happening is of late, there is a process and methodology by which you can quantify the risk at the board level, at the business level, right? If you look at the security teams, they deal with all this risk and alerts in their technical language, and that language cannot be interpreted at the board level. It will not make any sense that I had so many kind of alerts and so many false positives and whatnot. It doesn't make sense to non-technical people. So what has happened is there's a process by which you can quantify this risk, and it's called cyber risk quantification. So with this cyber risk quantification, you can you can translate that technical risk in terms of monetary values. For example, an organization says that my cyber risk quantification, my risk band, tolerance band is 1 crore per month. And any event which happens, this particular dashboard will help interpret that data and give it to the board saying that this event has happened and the risk at say 11 a.m. was 10 crores. So for the security team led by a CISO, they can dive deeper into that dashboard, see the reason where this has happened and fix it immediately rather than waiting to to investigate and respond. This becomes very fast for them to identify where this problem has happened and then give the comfort to the board back saying that we are back into our acceptable tolerance band of 1 crore. Now how does this help organizations? So today if you see rating agencies like S&P or Fitch and Moody's, they have started incorporating cyber events in their credit rating methodologies before and after, and
Yeah.
that helps them to assess the organization in terms of their cyber readiness. So for the board and the decision makers, they can drive the decisions for better business outcome. So tomorrow a security team says that this is an area which is needs to be addressed, they can quantify the risk in monetary terms and get the budget allocated for that particular gap. So this is how it's moving. As far as India is concerned, these models were based on the labor cost of the developed economies. That models are getting tweaked for the use of the Indian environment because the labor cost is very less here. So you'll get a fair assessment in terms of the risk, in terms of monetary value. That's where the transition is happening at the currently.
Yeah. So, what will be your guidance, Suhas and Uttam, for the young professionals looking for a career in cybersecurity? I mean, what should they do? I mean, given that AI kind of people, I mean, the younger ones think that AI will take their job, and what on the cybersecurity side? I mean, what's your guidance to them?
So in cybersecurity, we are still, shortage of millions of security professionals. There is a huge skill gap in cybersecurity because cybersecurity is not all about tools, right? It requires human intelligence. The way AI, definitely AI is taking a job everywhere. It is making the life super easy. However, the risk in cybersecurity is increasing. Kind of tools, complexity is increasing. The areas are increasing. If you look at the uh, cybersecurity, what we called as a era or cybersecurity 5 years back and cybersecurity now. So we have seen a lot of areas being introduced. We are talking about quantum security. We are talking about AI security. There is a security for AI specifically we are talking about today. Each area has its own importance. Each area does exist. So and these layers are keep adding. We are talking about after COVID, we have seen that different level of security. We are hybrid everywhere. So to address all this, we need tools to work on those tools effectively to effectively respond the cyber attacks or validate those cyber attacks. We need skills, and that is why it is great opportunity for young people to be part of this journey, or the cybersecurity era. For them, what we have seen is, see, just focusing on certifications and certain bits and pieces of trainings may not help them. They have to be serious, focused, and they should understand the every aspects of IT. Information first, info IT, because cybersecurity is more rely on information technology mainly. So, but first they should understand the every aspect of information technology, be it networking part, be it application part, be it cloud part, be it AI part. So once they have understanding, and they should, because they are learning faster now. There are tools, means, and mediums where are means available for them to study, right? So they should focus on that. Once they learn that, understanding or getting into security will not be that much difficult. But they have to be patient, focused. This is what which needs in cybersecurity.
See, I'll add to what Uttam is saying. See, today the global commerce is somewhere around 110 trillion dollars, out of which the digital commerce is close to 55 trillion dollars. So, which means the new wealth is being created on the digitization of services. This means the career and opportunities in cybersecurity is going to be immense, and it will only grow. Now, with automation happening due to AI, the nature of skills required will change. So earlier, a person who was certified in some particular technology XYZ or some tool was in demand. But with automation happening, that kind of skilling is getting changed. Today, as we go forward, more and more people who are skilled in security engineering, detection engineering will be in demand. People who can do threat modeling for an organization, they will be in demand because these tools, threat modeling and all, will become more prominent in every organization. So that is the level of sophistication which is happening as far as automation is concerned. So with this automation, you will do more with less. So you'll have less number of people, but highly proficient in these areas who are good in detection engineering, who are good in threat modeling. These are the areas which will grow by leaps and bounds.
Thanks to us. We'll do. This was not the definitely the last session. It's a area of depth and interest, and we'll do several sessions on this, and particularly go industry wise and also go solution wise, and and then see how I mean the younger professionals can gain from these sessions and also contribute to these sessions. And my one thing that bothers is that in that data, I mean, a lot of these cyber frauds or cyber attacks, they find these old age or uh, the retired people who are not tech savvy or who do not know how to protect themselves. They find them, I mean, vulnerable people rather. And there are reports where they've taken almost 3 crores, 4 crores, I mean, just taken everything out from their bank accounts. Now, I think something needs to be done on that side also, where we're trying to protect the corporates and the smaller organizations and the startups. One thing that comes out is that security is affordable also. I mean, it is not that, as both of you mentioned, that by design, when you start building your applications or your IT infra, keeping security in mind, then it can be affordable for smaller organizations as well. But what do we do about the vulnerable people? I mean, it's very difficult. I mean, I see my mother uses Facebook, and then she has an image coming in there, and suddenly she has an app which looks very similar to settings icon of your phone. I mean, our phone, Android phone or Apple phone, the settings in there, which is actually a hack. I mean, now, obviously they don't know. They go to the setting, they think that it's a setting gear which is there. It's actually a malware. Now, I know this is something that is not a industry problem, but it's a global problem. So, any take on that? How do we do some sessions for their awareness?
W-
And collectively, we are safer.
it's as you said, the answer, it's awareness. We've been all traveling in cars since childhood, and now government has mandated that you should have a seat belt or they will penalize you. So slowly, the government is also ensuring that with the implementation of DPDP Act, especially the personally identified information is does not go out in the market in the wrong hands. So that step is being taken by the government. So even if some consumer accidentally does certain things, his data doesn't get exposed. Secondly, at the consumer level, there's a lot of awareness which needs to be created, both at the community level, at the government level, and it's a continuous process. That's the only way to create a deterrence against attackers.
Awareness, and then there is affordability question also. I mean, not many people can afford to change phones every 3 years because the security, some phones they only issue security releases for 3 years or 4 years or maybe 5 years, and people can't change phones every 3 years. Some people cannot, and majority of the people cannot. Now, I don't know. I mean, we can't discuss that here, but those are some of the gap areas. I mean, they don't know that their phones are vulnerable because there are no security updates in their phones coming anymore. Now, something on that session also. Maybe we leave that here today. And thanks for your time. Thanks, Uttam, and thanks to us. I'll in the link, because we didn't do the introduction. So what I'll do is in the video I'll put a link about the profile so that if anyone has to get in touch for further discussions, uh, they want to see our profiles, they can. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinod.
Sure.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Vinod.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for the
Yeah.
opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for being here. Thank you.